decided to sell our house and move into our 25-foot trailer full time because we wanted more freedom, financial freedom, and freedom to take our home on adventures with us.
So why didn't we winterize? Because
A lot of reasons. And we're going to share them with you. So why didn't we winterize our trailer if we knew we were going to live full time in Canada?
it's because of what we were trying to do with this. It's like we're not trying to live off grid. We're not purposely chasing tiny living. We just wanted to make more use of what we already had so that we could lower our bills and just have more freedom to do the things we want.
I mean, truthfully, he is chasing tiny living. The whole point was that you wanted to live in a smaller space. But when we got down to the realities of where we live with the trailer right now and how that was going to work, we had to come up with either how we were going to winterize or take it somewhere else. So while the eventual hope is that we're going to leave with the trailer for the winter, we weren't quite there this year. So how are we living through the winter in Canada right now?
In a garage.
Yes, we built a garage of which we put the Airstream in, which you have seen, or you can see from our previous videos.
So what are the main reasons we didn't winterize for?
Number one, having running water all winter long.
Yeah, we didn't want to deal with heat tape. We didn't want to deal with frozen pipes. Trailers get cold floors even in the summer, so I don't want to deal with that in the winter. Skirting, not interested. Bales, rodents, all the kinds of stuff you get when you're trying to, make something that's more of a 3-season vehicle into a 4-season vehicle. Wasn't really interesting to us.
No, we watched a lot of videos on YouTube before we made the move, as I'm sure you have too, and it is just full of problems with diesel heaters, busted water pipes, got rodents in, we're freezing, I've put a wood stove in my van, like all kinds of reasons that we didn't really line up with how we wanted to live on the daily.
We wanted something simpler and ideally more reliable just because we weren't going to be stressing it.
So this is how we have water without a well on site all winter long.
So instead of...
Oh, sorry. Dang it. Okay, go.
So instead of worrying about frozen lines and heat tape and all that kind of stuff, we just have our water set up inside. We have it run into the tank in the trailer. I just pump it from the tank that we bought that we keep in the garage so it doesn't freeze either. It's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes, but it beats frozen water lines.
Yeah, definitely. Because if your water lines freeze, it's not like you know exactly where they froze and burst. You've got to then tear your trailer apart in the middle of winter, and God knows how long that's going to take. So yeah, that we were not interested in.
10 minutes is too long.
Exactly. If you're thinking about buying a trailer or RV yourself, you want to check out the Halifax RV show happening January 23rd to 26th at the Halifax Exhibition Center. Use promo code Alicia at checkout to save $2 per ticket, or check out our social media feeds for a giveaway. There's going to be hundreds of models there from the Maritime's leading dealers. Definitely want to check out the Halifax RV show. Reason number 2, heat sources.
We didn't want to burn an absolute mountain of propane all winter because, a trailer probably only has 1.5 inch insulation, single pane windows, so it's not really made for winter. So, people do it, but it's not cheap. And we just wanted something more efficient. It does have a heat pump. They're not very efficient compared to a residential model. And Alicia had already experienced a furnace breakdown, so she didn't want to do that either.
It's true, and it was only November. We just had a particularly cold night where the temperature dropped and our thermostat didn't kick in for whatever reason.
It did, but the furnace didn't listen to it. There's just a sensor on the furnace that said nope, and you got to be real cold.
Yeah, I woke up frozen to my pillow at like 3:30 in the morning, and we were like, why is it so cold?
It's funny now.
It is funny now.
You can laugh about it now.
It was terrifying at the time because we were living outside and we hadn't even hit the dead of winter. So really glad we decided to spend winter inside a garage. Yeah, we save a ton of money on propane, not having to buy cords of wood or have to get up all night long to keep that fire stoked. Instead, we have a handy dandy heat pump inside the garage, which is the only thing we need to heat the entire space all winter long.
And it's cheap.
It is. We keep it at about 20 for us. If it's a little cooler, I'll probably just put on a sweater, but for the most part, that temperature works great.
We also put a wood stove in here that we haven't had to use. It's basically just for emergencies and peace of mind.
Yeah, don't come for us that it's surrounded by stuff because we just haven't used it.
It's not in use. It's fine.
But we have it if we ever needed to.
That's the thing. We've lost power for over a week before. I don't want to deal with that in the winter. We're fine. And what's the third reason?
Space.
So the kicker is, when you follow all these people with different channels and shows on TV about tiny living and all that kind of stuff, yes, you have some interior space, but a big thing is your outdoor living space, which becomes a big part of your living space.
In the winter, you don't really enjoy that as much because if your screen door is open or your windows are open so you can come and go, then you are going to freeze.
Not going to be a good time.
No.
So, you know, winter down south, it's different. You still just have the same wardrobe that you would have in the summer, really. Up here, you got bigger boots, maybe you got snow pants, you got definitely have more sweaters, you've got an army of them. You got heavier jackets, whole 9 yards. Not really that much space in there for that.
Our very first fall in the trailer, like we had only used it in the summer before when we weren't living in it. And then we had an extended period in the fall where we were relying on it because we had a bad hurricane come in and we were without power for that week that he talked about. But then as we were living in it, waiting to move into the garage, and it became fall and I froze to my pillow, we realized, okay, we need to move more sweaters and coats and boots into the trailer to wear, but there's nowhere to really put it. You don't have like that little mud room that you walk into or a porch. You just come right into the trailer.
I feel like Nova Scotia is particularly bad for that because the winters are kind of mild, so you get a lot of melt, so then you get some mud, and then you're in 180 square feet. It's a disaster in 5 minutes flat.
Yeah, take a look at this.
So you can see there's a doormat, not a boot tray, which would be nice in the winter.
This is our boot tray, which is great storage for shoes. I have a few pairs left in here from the fall, but not a ton of room.
Not particularly boot friendly. It's more of a shoe drawer. Shoe drawer. Shoe drawer. Okay, I can pronounce words again now.
Yeah, so these are our 2 current winter coats and just 1 sweater. And I mean, yes, this is a big coat because it's cold out, but
what a generous 3 hooks.
it doesn't give you a lot of space. Summer, no issue whatsoever. It's great. But as soon as you hit fall going into winter, it's definitely a little harder to do the trailer life for us anyway.
I also hate that the coat hooks are right next to the sink. So when you're
really
doing dishes, etc., it's just...
The sink is just on the other side of
Yeah.
these. And we have seen some where they have like a panel here and there's like the little shoe... It's like a magazine rack for shoes and the hooks are there.
When we downsize, that's what we'll have.
We're not downsizing.
Not downsizing yet.
So long as we live in it, we are not downsizing.
Yep.
Once we have a permanent home, I will happily get a small trailer, but...
Heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so to take full advantage of the... Ready?
Yes.
So to take full advantage of the trailer, we kind of just treat it as a modular kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, closet, etc. We already have all that stuff. We just want to use it more and get our money's worth out of it. So having the garage is basically just extra living space. It's kind of like the outdoor living space brought indoors.
We just want to share with people the fact of if you did want to do this kind of downsizing, real big life change and get into a trailer RV, it doesn't have to be about struggling outside, like how am I going to make it through winter? There are alternatives like this one. And that might not work for everyone, but it's what we're doing and we wanted to share it with you.
That's true, Sandy.
So ultimately for us, this move to downsize was about saving money on our monthly costs. You know, we don't have a mortgage now and our bills have gone down by 1/3. and that the freedom that would give us in life. But we will eventually be on the road more. We're just not quite ready yet. But in a few months, we'll be taking you on some pretty great adventures.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, is that it? Let's go for walkies. The family winter walkies.
There you go.
The floor is lava, don't forget. Us to believe that buying abandoned properties and fixing them up to live in is a great idea. Well, what do you think? Imagine what we could do with this property. The potential. Could be, yep. I'm pretty accident prone and not very handy, so I don't think that would go very well. I'm not a huge winter fan, but I do love these quiet walks in the woods where we live. It's dips around there, it's tall trees and almost no cars, so. Thanks to the Halifax RV Show for sponsoring this week's video.